Alright guys, this is Jerningham here. Some people may find this video distressing about Chinese people. They keep getting hate crimes off people. Some Chinese guys got a black eye just because of coronavirus hate crimes. It's not right to pick on someone because they're different. If the coronavirus came from somewhere, which it has, and some of these people are getting blamed for it for no reason. And I'm going to be showing you a video about it, guys, and girls. What are you going to think about it? You probably think it's wrong for what people are doing in the world, picking on innocent people for no reason, just because of the different or the background. Isn't right. And what is the world coming to? We're going to play the video and see what you think.
It's ridiculous. You know, it did not come from Chinese food. It's a zoonotic disease.
David Say came to the UK from Hong Kong as a young child. Proudly British, he's built a successful career as an actor, writer and director.
There are still so many others who are suffering.
He's experienced his share of racist abuse over the years, but says it's nothing compared to what's happening now with coronavirus.
If you listen to these dangerous politicians or far-right people who are scapegoating others, what that will lead to is fascism and Nazism. You know, we've got to oppose it.
Police forces across the country told us of 267 recorded offences in the first 3 months of this year, compared to 375 for the whole of 2019. The Metropolitan Police recorded 63 offences, a threefold increase on the same period last year. They included the appalling assault on Singaporean student
that is.
Jonathan Mock, attacked on Oxford Street.
Yeah.
Michael Chu studies at university in Sheffield. He's also been abused and threatened with assault.
We were literally just sat at the traffic lights, and he started just giving me all of this abuse, and he was threatening to come and basically just put me in hospital, in other words. And it was definitely unexpected, and I was quite shocked.
These Chinese students at Southampton University were confronted by another group accusing them of spreading the virus. Long before the lockdown, Chinese and Asian businesses here were seeing a sharp drop in trade as fear and misunderstanding was stoked by internet conspiracies. And with the finger of blame being pointed at the Chinese by the world's most powerful leader, the US president, well, that only exacerbates the problem. Although a threefold increase in hate crime is worrying enough, those we've spoken to feared the numbers being verbally abused and assaulted will rise even more sharply in the weeks ahead as the lockdown is lifted. Mark White, Sky News.
As you guys saw that video, some people find that ridiculous on that video and selfish what some people are doing. Anyway, moving on. We're going to be looking at coronavirus numbers as well now in the UK, deaths and care homes and stuff. What is this world coming to, guys? People just don't seem to understand things properly in the brain.
But we have already had some new figures in the last hour from the Office of National Statistics. This is the data looking at the number of deaths in total in the UK. There is a slight time lag to assemble the reporting, but let's get the main points now from our economics editor, Ed Conway. Morning, Ed.
Morning. Yeah, we have been looking at these numbers. They are from the Office for National Statistics for excess deaths. You'll remember each day we get numbers from the government, and they have started to include numbers of people who have died outside of hospital more recently. But these really are the most definitive measure of how many people have died of COVID-19 and indeed from all causes in England and Wales. These numbers are from England and Wales, I should say, but there are numbers for Scotland and for Northern Ireland saying more or less the same thing. And there was some speculation as to whether the number of total deaths, people talk about excess deaths, it's a kind of
LAN cable's just gone off, as you can see there.
Talking about how many people are dying in a given week compared with the the average over the course of the previous 5 years. And it gives you a sense, if you're trying to adjust for whether all of the COVID-19 deaths have been properly diagnosed, well, some people would rather just look at the total number of deaths above the seasonal average. And some people thought that there might be a chance that it might continue to increase.
So you get the numbers there. You got COVID-19 deaths. You got all deaths 2020.
They were up above 22,000 in the previous week. So we're talking about week 16 was the previous week. That was the week that started with the Easter Monday. And now we have to for week 17, which is the week ending the 24th of April. And it was 21,997 people in total who died from all causes in England and Wales during that week. That's down by 354 compared with the previous week. And as I say, there will be some relief. Even though that number is very high, it is far higher than anyone would like to see. It's actually pretty much double what you would normally expect at this time of year. There'll be some relief that it is now starting to fall, that we have those comprehensive figures from the ONS, and they're suggesting the numbers are falling. And here's the thing that's worth just, I think, bearing in mind, Adam. A lot of people have looked at this disease and they've said that in many ways it is worse. It has a higher potential fatality rate than many diseases, probably any epidemic that the UK has faced since the Spanish influenza at the start, just over a century ago. Well, what we now know is the number of people who have died of this is below, as a percentage of the population, is below what we saw in the worst weeks of the Hong Kong flu, which is the flu that happened towards the late 60s. So we are actually coming in below that level if you're looking at total number of excess deaths, below the levels we saw in the first week of 1970. So there will be some, I think, relief that we managed to not, that we haven't seen numbers
29,000
what they were in that
648 deaths involved COVID-19 recorded in England and Wales
the lockdown measures that have
as
been
April
imposed. As
24th.
I say, though, some reassurance that the numbers seem to have peaked. Although it's worth pointing out that while they certainly have peaked in hospitals and they're coming down, what these numbers show is that the number of deaths in care homes is still rising, and the number of deaths in private homes is still rising. So there is a bit of a divergence there, but the overall numbers of total excess deaths now starting to fall, and this will be taken as some form of slight reassurance that indeed we are now well past the peak.
Ed Conway, thank you very much indeed for that.
If that's what they think, we're passing the peak, but who knows? We've still probably got a long way to go yet, in my opinion. But anyway, hope you've all enjoyed the video. Give it a like, give it a comment, share it with your friends, and tell me what you think about these videos. And yeah, I shall catch you in the next one. Peace.